no balls fall. You want good words? Data languager.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Boomtown Grill Thursday out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. One of the law of unintended consequences has hit college football with news this morning. Jayden Daniels, mad at LSU. He's mad because somebody's wearing his number. He's mad because his number hasn't been retired. He's mad at all kinds of things. Is this something, and he's actually pointed out, like NIL stuff. Like you can't sell number 5, LSU. Odd. How would you feel if this happened at your school, where one of your former players got mad? You know, you think about Oklahoma, 2 of the iconic quarterbacks in the Bob Stoops era wore the same number, with Josh Heupel and Sam Bradford.
Yeah. Like, what if Heupel got mad?
Or any of them, if somebody wore that number. You know, you don't jersey retirements. We'll talk about jersey retirement also today after what came out yesterday. But you don't see that in college football, and a big reason why is because hell, you see guys wearing the same number because there's so many people on the team.
Yeah.
You go retiring jerseys, you're going to run out of. You have to have triple-digit numbers. So I
think you need more of like a Ring of Honor thing in college football.
Yeah, we'll talk about how to handle this.
Yeah.
Because they did retire Joe Burrow's number.
Did they officially retire? I didn't know if they officially retired.
Nobody's had that one. Now, there's a lot of things going on with this as well because Jayden Daniels can't necessarily be mad at Lane Kiffin. He didn't have anything to do with it. As much as everybody wants to get mad at Lane, it's not really his fault. Is this just Heisman privilege? You know, everything's got privilege now.
Yeah.
Just ask the WNBA.
Who, by the way, can't figure out what W means.
Yeah. So we got Heisman privilege coming from Jayden Daniels. Russell Westbrook, speaking of icons, definitely one of the sport icons in the state of Oklahoma, announced his retirement yesterday in typical Russ fashion. Just put out a social media post, which he doesn't do very often. Quiet. No victory lap. No retirement tour. What will you remember about him here? His career? Does his mercurial nature diminish his perception now that maybe goes away in 20 years when people look back at the stats he put up and go, oh my Lord, what was he playing about? It was a video game? By doing that at his size? Was his biggest strength also his biggest weakness as a player? Should the Thunder have signed him to give him kind of a victory tour as a bench player for a final season? Would he have even wanted that? Will they sign him to a 1-year deal? Does he even want that? How soon should his jersey be in the rafters? And will there be an addition outside of Continental Coliseum in the form of a statue of Russell Westbrook? Should that be something that we see? We got a U.S. Amateur update from Marion. Yesterday at this time we were talking about a 16-player for 11 spot playoff that Ryder Cowan was involved in. He immediately hit it to like a foot on number 13, the par 3, tapped it in for birdie, which qualified him for the match play bracket. And man, was that match not awesome yesterday afternoon. The number 1 junior in the world, Miles Russell, who's also the number 4 ranked amateur in the world, taking on Ryder, who's number 8 in the world amateur golf rankings. the marquee match. We saw every shot from number 5 on when the coverage started. It was just incredible, the back and forth. So we'll talk about that match, the way it went, the way it ended. Did you see him afterwards?
Not after, no. I left here at 5. I was watching a little bit.
So afterwards, in this post-round press conference,
yeah,
he said he only had 2 golf balls in his bag.
The entire time?
The entire match. Only had 2. Forgot to put more in his bag at the hotel. And so he started the match with a brand new one, and he switched on like number 11. But he only had 2 in his bag. Reminiscent of another story in golf from back in the 2000 U.S. Open that people may not remember. With Tiger Woods. We almost were denied the greatest U.S. Open golf we've ever seen because of something like this. And I've also got a personal story I know about something like this as well that a lot of people don't know with brothers and golf balls and golf bags in USGA competition, actually. Then we'll tell you who he's playing today, what it looks like up in Marion as far as what's on the docket for the U.S. Amateur today. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things. Whatever else might be on your mind, feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, a couple ways to stay in touch with the show. Log on to kadsam.com or download the Paragon app. It's free download. You get all the radio stations under the Paragon umbrella. You get the Penny News online. Go check out the new Penny News online at thepennynews.com through the app. Also, go pick up a free copy of the Penny News. Print edition out everywhere as we speak. PlayItLive.net starts back up for the little kids out at the Fiveplex the end of August. So if you can't make it out for a game, you can watch there. Online at PlayItLive.net. Big Elk and Paragon TV. We've got softball today for the Elkettes over at the Maggie Walker tournament at Hobart. I think they're playing Sentinel. I'll tell you what time. I'll look that up today. Of course, football starts for the Big Elks on the 28th of August. Merritt on Paragon TV the next week. So go check all that out through the app. And of course, the Skinny on Sports podcast is available anywhere podcasts drop. How are you today, Jared Atha?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm wonderful. That was so much fun yesterday. You know, once we kind of figured at the end of the show, we figured out that Ryder had made it through. By the way, 5:30 is what I'm seeing for the Elkettes and Sentinel over there at Hobart is the scheduled time on Big Elk TV for the softball today.
Cool.
Once we saw that Ryder made it through and that he was playing Miles Russell, I knew that the coverage would be focused on that match, and it was. I think the only coverage came on with their tee shots on number 5. Russell had just knocked a wedge in close on 4 of the par 5 to make birdie and take a 1-up lead. And from there, I think the only shots we didn't see were tee shots on 11, which was like a layup iron hole anyway, so they following the end of other matches and this and that. But, yeah, we got to see every bit of it. So that was so cool. To be able to watch those two guys. I mean, the crowds, when they'd switch to a different match, you'd see a few people. And one of the cool things at the amateurs, they just walk right up the fairways, all the crowd. There's not like ropes like you're used to seeing in the PGA Tour event and whatnot. So there's, it's like a more intimate setting, but there was throng of people following that match, and rightfully so because of the two guys that were in it and how accomplished that they are in amateur golf. And just so happened that we know one of them. But it was back and forth. There was a time there where it looked like Miles Russell had fallen apart. Kind of the middle to the end of the front 9. And then all of a sudden, he makes a couple of birdies, and then it feels like, he's found it. And he's about to take control. I thought there were a 3-hole stretch in there that really kind of defined the way the match went. It was after Russell tied it on number 12 with a birdie. Then he hit it close on 13. Ryder hit a good shot as well. Didn't make the putt. Miles Russell had about, a 4 or 5 footer, and he missed. So the match remained all square there. Then they went to the 14th hole, and that was the ridiculous bunker shot that Ryder hit from over the green and got it up and down. And that was also a point where, for the first time in about 9 holes, we saw Ryder hole a putt. He hold one he holed one on number 6 for birdie, where Russell had about a 10-footer for par or so, but he went ahead and made it from 15 or 18 feet to win the hole there. But after that, he had chance after chance. You never really saw him hole a putt, but he made the one on 14, then on 15. He had a 10-footer to tie the hole, and he knocked it right in the hole, and then from there he won the last 2 holes. And, of course, the 17th, the way that one played out will be something that you'll see that highlight at U.S. Amateurs from now on. It was like 251 par 3. Ryder hit it just left. He was only like 15 feet from the hole, but he's up in the tall grass. Delicate chip. He left the first one in the rough. And then the second one chips it in to eventually win the match when Russell missed his 10-foot par putt. Just it was awesome. Back and forth. Obviously, it's cooler that the guy we wanted to win won the match at the end of the day. But it's kind of surreal knowing him growing up here.
Yeah.
Playing golf with his dad all through his, through our lives. And now to see him on the, international stage at the biggest amateur golf tournament in the world, be able to pull off that win. And I wonder what that's going to do. That he said afterwards, I never really saw what Miles Russell had said afterwards, but Ryder talked about, they probably didn't have their best stuff, either one of them, but just grinded it, ground out the whole match, both of them, until eventually he won. And so that was, it was awesome. And now he's playing right now in the round of 32. By the end of the day today, there will be 8 guys left because there will be matches this morning in the round of 32. Then you go to the round of 16 this afternoon if you win. So come this time tomorrow morning, there's going to be 8 guys left. And the way that he was striking it, just make a couple of putts, he looks like a guy that could absolutely be holding the trophy and all the benefits that come with that at the end of the day on Sunday.
That's pretty cool. So schedule it out for me. So you say he goes back at it today?
He's out. He's on the. He just won. He just won the second hole.
Okay.
So he's one up against Justin Matthews, a Canadian guy that actually qualified for the Canadian Open a month and a half ago as an amateur. And if I remember right, he might have played pretty well in that tournament.
Well, it's Canada, so. Anyways.
But he's one up through 2. Ryder is. So if he wins this morning, then he'll go play sometime this afternoon. I think what I saw coverage is 2:00 again. So I don't know how much we'll be able to see this morning other than
highlights maybe.
Highlights from people there or just watching hopefully the leaderboard doesn't break down like it did as he got started yesterday. Like the scoring, the USGA website.
Well,
it stopped for about 30 minutes.
You know what happened?
Hour.
It crashed.
Too many people watched. Too many people wanting to know.
Getting on there, yeah.
But thankfully,
there's a spike in the western Oklahoma region of Beckham County. Yeah,
there couldn't be no doubt about that. But it was fixed right about the time it came on, and then you didn't care.
Yeah, you could watch
outside of watching some other matches. I know. I talked about Chase Hughes, who his dad Nick played at OCU with some guys that everybody knows here, Justin Robinson and Van Storm, on that team from Hennessy. He's only 16. Big kid. I can't believe how big he is. His dad wasn't that big. But anyway, he's a big, good-looking athlete. He lost on the last hole yesterday in the first round. But yeah, everybody's going to have their eyes on Ryder. And, man, what a day. Because you think about it, and he talked about it right after the match how tired he was. Because he woke up early to get in that 16 for 11 playoff. Mm-hmm. Then he had to wait 4 hours maybe to start, and knowing who you're going to play with the accomplishments of Miles Russell. So it was a long day. He talked about being tired, ready to go get some rest and get back at it today. And that's the thing that people don't realize about this golf tournament if you're not used to kind of following it. You play 36 holes of stroke play on Monday and Tuesday, just one match on Wednesday, and a lot of that's probably because of the possibility of playoffs and how long that could take. There's just not enough time. But now you got 36 today if you make it. Play a match on Friday, a match on Saturday, and then 36 possibility in the finals there on Sunday. So lots of golf in a short period of time. We'll continue to watch his hopefully advancement, just survive and advance. You know, this is something that I knew had happened, but I never really thought about what he did in order to do what he did. During the match yesterday, they had a feature about Tiger and how he won 3 straight junior amateurs and 3 straight U.S. amateurs. 6 years in a row, won a USGA event. You know that, and you're like, holy cow, that's ridiculous. Yeah. And then when he was talking about it, he said, yeah, I lost as a 14-year-old, and he knew the dude's name that beat him just as Tiger would. But then, in order to do that, he won 36 matches in a row over that 6 years. That's up there with him holding all 4 majors.
Yeah.
To not run into somebody that was just on fire in a certain match over 6, that is one of the greatest accomplishments there's ever going to be in golf.
100%. If you don't know golf, that is incredibly hard and incredibly rare.
It's nobody else ever done it.
No, yeah, that's ridiculous. It's the only word that comes to mind.
Yeah, when you put it into that perspective, it's absolutely ridiculous to win that many matches in a row. One of the things he said afterwards, that Ryder talked about afterwards, was he only had 2 golf balls in his bag. I'd love to know if that's right. That could be like a fishtail. You know what I mean? But seriously,
he later looked harder. Oh, there's 4 more.
Yeah.
At the time, I could only find 2.
I was looking when that story popped up on the highlight of that popped up on Twitter. You know, everybody underneath there is going, "Why they don't sell sleeves at Marion or what?" You know, that kind of thing. But
is it a rule? Like once you start around, you guys
you're
play
done
with the balls that you have?
Yeah, absolutely, that's a rule. And so, he couldn't send Jill or Sean or Ann to the clubhouse after number 4. Say, hey, you give me a box of Pro V's or whatever. Yeah, that's
sneak them.
That's not allowed.
Glad hand them. Hey, good job.
Hey, Miles, you got one. You got an extra in your bag. Yeah, you can't do that. But speaking of Tiger, it's reminiscent of the 2000 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, in which he ended up winning by 15. In early... was it the second round on 18? He hit it in the ocean.
I don't know.
And Stevie Williams handed him. It was his last hole, and Stevie Williams handed him the last ball he had in the bag.
This reminds me of like Tin Cup.
Yeah. And think about it. And he just piped a driver. And Stevie's talked about it since. Like, he didn't say a word about it, but he was like, I really was wishing he just hit a 4-iron out there on the fairway, and don't really. But of course he didn't tell him.
Yeah.
And he ends up finishing the hole and then, figuring it out. But what we would have lost. I mean, can you imagine him down there, Stevie Tiger looking at him if he hits it again in the water or in the ocean? And Stevie being like, hey, whoa, wait a minute. I got to get down there on the beach and find one of those golf balls so you can finish.
Wow.
So there's, that's kind of reminiscent of that. And it also reminded me of years ago, and guys know this, any golfer in Western Oklahoma knows, Corey Smith. He's in the Athletic Hall of Fame at Southwestern, individual champ here at Elk City in high school. He qualified. He made it through local qualifying for the U.S. Open one year and went up to, I think he was in Ohio, for the sectional qualifying, the final qualifying before you're in the U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. And his little brother Russ was his caddy. And they were talking about, balls in the hotel before they went, or the night before or what have you, how many balls he needed to take. And Russ said, bud, you only need 3. Because if you need more than that, you ain't making it anyhow, and I don't want to carry your bag with a dozen golf balls in it. So that kind of reminded me of that funny story. But, it's cool. I mean, it's
it's
been a hell of a summer for Ryder so far. Obviously, the top 20 tied 23rd at the U.S. Open. Tied Jackson Koiven, who is in the playoffs on the PGA Tour right now in Memphis. Then the really good showing at Southern Hills and that Trans-Mississippi Amateur where he got second. And now into the round of 32 in the U.S. Amateur. 2 up now as he parred the par 3 number 3. And so he's 2 up through 3 holes so far in his match today, looking to advance to this afternoon to the round of 16. So really, really cool. Really cool stuff, and hopefully he can, playing a guy like that in the first round, getting through it, and not maybe having your best stuff. It's got to be I'm sure his confidence is sky high anyways from the way he played at Shinnecock in the U.S. Open, but still being able to win that match and being able to win that match with maybe not your best, it's got to give you tons of confidence moving forward. So hopefully this continues this morning, and then we'll see him all over the coverage this weekend, trying to win the U.S. Open and everything that goes along with that, Masters, Invite, and all of it as he gets ready to head into his senior year at OU.
It's awesome. The trajectory here for him looks like it continues to go up and up. We look at past OU players or past Oklahomans, not just OU, but OSU, OU, that have, we've followed their career through their collegiately. In this case, since he started walking and carrying clubs, he has a chance to get up there with the Goddard's, with the Ricky Fowlers, Hovland, and all those guys. He has that chance to really play some competitive golf at a high level once this college thing is done.
Yeah, watching those two, and a lot of those guys are the same way. They're just so seasoned, and their pedigree is so good at a younger age than maybe it used to be. But it felt like you were watching a professional golf event. Mm-hmm. They were both calm. Miles Russell.
Yeah, you could tell they played a lot of golf.
Oh, yeah. Miles Russell had a chance to just fall apart, missing those iron shots to the left and on 5, 6, 7, 8, hit it in the water on 9, just a horrible shot. But he never looked flustered. It was like, okay, figure it out, and then he did, and the quality of golf down the stretch was really good, really good. And just the battle and the pressure, I'm sure, everyone there has tons of pressure on them. You could tell that by watching other matches that went to 18. The first 4 guys that played number 18 all made double bogeys. And it's a hard hole, don't get me wrong, but in the normal circumstance, that's probably not happening. But with the amount of pressure that was on those guys at that time, they just couldn't figure it out. And that was notched or ratcheted up even more in that particular match between those two because of, first off, the quality of player that you're playing, and just they knew all the eyes were on them. No offense to the other 32 matches yesterday, but that was by far the marquee one of the day. And everybody knew it when you saw the bracket come out. I was trying to remember how the guys that made it through the playoff got slotted into their spots in the bracket as it was going on. And it's basically first come, first serve. So the first guy, if you were in the first group, you made a 2, you got to play the worst seed.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, there's 7. This could happen. And I looked up, sure enough, it did. So that'll be something, obviously, that the golf world and all over the world, but especially right here in Oklahoma, Western Oklahoma, will be paying attention to throughout the weekend. And so hopefully he can continue to do what he's doing. As I mentioned, 2 up through 3 holes so far is Ryder Cowan over Justin Matthews in the round of 62. Round of 32, excuse me, at the U.S. Amateur. All right, when we come back, the end of 0 as Russell Westbrook retires from the NBA in quiet fashion, which is not surprising at all by his MO. Talk about him next. Skinny on Sports on a Boomtown Grill Thursday.
If you're hungry in Elk City, there's one place people keep coming back to. Boomtown Grill. Plenty of TVs, a great bar, and a dining room where the food is the real star. Boomtown's kitchen turns out hand-cut choice Angus steaks, burgers ground in-house every single day, and Boomtown's handcrafted pizza that just might be your new favorite in town. Tuesday night, enjoy chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes, peppered gravy, and a roll for just $4.99. Thursday wings are only 50 cents. Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main in Elk City. Come hungry.
The Skinny on Sports.
Welcome back. It is the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal, hanging out here in studio on a Boomtown Grill Thursday. Big thank you to Daryl and all the gang down at Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main. It is 50-cent boneless chicken wing Thursday at the Boomtown Grill. Hand-cut, hand-breaded, fried up to perfection with all kinds of different sauces you can put on those wings. You can have the lemon pepper dry rub. Probably just do them naked if you wanted to. Sure, that's an option as well.
Who doesn't like them naked?
You could. Doesn't everybody likes?
I don't mind naked.
Naked. Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main, 50-cent boneless chicken wing, and that's not. Listen, they have great food all over that menu. Pizzas are phenomenal down there at Boomtown Grill. Appetizers, the fried pickles. I know that's something that we get a lot. The boomin' onion, as I see those on people's tables when we're there.
That's good. Those are good.
Burgers, sandwiches, steaks.
You ever try to make a boomin' onion at home?
I've not.
It is incredibly hard and messy. Just go to Boomtown Grill.
Just do it.
Just let them do it.
Let them do it. They know what they're doing.
Yes.
It's delicious. Let's get down there. Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main. All right, so yesterday, one of the biggest sporting icons ever in the state of Oklahoma announced his retirement from the NBA. It is when Mr. Russell Westbrook retires after, let's see, what was he, 2008? So, 18 seasons in the NBA. Still holds the record for most triple-doubles in a career. That one's probably going to go down because of the Joker at some point here in the next couple of years. Average triple-doubles for multiple seasons. Broke the record for most in a season against surpassing Oscar Robertson. All the accolades that he has, though, stat-wise and the way that he played, I think around here he's held up in the highest of regard, not necessarily for something that he did off the court, or on the court, but what he did off the court, and that was being the guy that stayed.
Yeah.
Being the guy that when Kevin Durant left to go to the arch rival in Golden State and make things as easy as possible on him to get a couple of rings out there in the Bay Area, it was Russell Westbrook with one that stayed here, put the franchise on his shoulders for a season. And in a lot of ways, you can thank Russell Westbrook for what we're seeing right now. Because of the teammate that he was, because of the player that he was, enticed Paul George to not only accept a trade to Oklahoma City, but then also sign the extension with Oklahoma City that then allowed the Paul George trade to L.A. and all the many gifts that has brought the Thunder, and eventually an NBA title.
Yeah, you can trace that back to Russell's influence. Absolutely.
No doubt.
That's a good connection. I never thought of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, without him staying, there never would have been a Paul George to trade. And without him and Paul George clicking on the floor the first year, would never allowed the extension to be signed. And because of that, I think is why he is, yes, Shea has the title that Russell and Kevin never got. But
and 2 MVPs.
I don't think, no matter what Well, if this Thunder team wins 3 or 4, then this is going to be moot. But if the unthinkable, at least a couple years ago, happens, and Oklahoma City only ends up with 1 title in this run with these guys, and maybe even if they win 2, I still think a vast majority of the fan base that was Thunder fans from the beginning will still view Russell Westbrook as the Thunder, even above the accomplishments of Shea, because of what it meant. I mean, you think about when Durant left, what were the articles being written? Oh, they're gone. Without Kevin Durant, this franchise will move.
Yeah. The immediate reaction was, okay, well, Russell's going to be requesting a trade, and the Thunder will grant, and just like that's the end of that era.
And maybe the end of Thunder basketball in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and what was so cool was Westbrook's commitment to the franchise, to the city, to the state. And that was so much, it almost, not quite, almost was bigger than what he accomplished on the court. Just
Heck, I think it is.
Yeah, it showed the Thunder fans and shoot the nation what it meant to be, to honor a contract, to be committed. And at what that time was like, and for younger listeners who were probably around 10 years old when that happened and didn't understand, at the time it was like, oh man, this Kevin Durant guy is so cool. I mean, such a clean guy, and I want my daughter to date him. I want my boy to idolize him. And then there's this Russell Westbrook guy, the number 2 on the team, kind of a wild card, kind of moody on the court, kind of short with Barry Trammell and the, with the media and all of that. And then it was like, boom, over one night, it was like, or a week really, where it was Westbrook, Durant's gone. Turns out he was the snake, and Westbrook was our guy the whole time. He was, he wasn't Robin. In fact, he was Batman the entire time. And that was so huge. And he's still committed to the city. You still see, the investments he's making with the soccer stuff. And my wife asked me last night, does he still have a home in Oklahoma City? I was like, I don't doubt he has some nice apartment somewhere, because he's got to spend a lot of time, I bet, in OKC. But he's always said, this is where I grew up. This is where I became a man, was in Oklahoma City. And he's been a stand-up dude ever since. And they said it this morning, and even up to the over a year ago's playoff series against Denver, every time, that thing went 7 games, and it was a physical, vicious type of a series with the Nuggets. But every time Russell came in off the bench in Oklahoma City, there was an applause for him. It wasn't any vitriol. It wasn't. Hey, it doesn't matter. This is the playoffs, so I don't care who you are. We're going to root against you. There was still that nice, round of applause for him, and that's huge too. So it was kind of, I won't say sad, but like bitter, sweet. Like, man, what a career, But it's just kind of, wow, no more Russell Westbrook, because it was sad for me, because I thought deep down, I thought, sign him to a league minimum, veteran deal, whatever, 1 year. Let him have that 1 year as a Thunder player. What do they call that? Farewell tour. But nowadays, you don't need a farewell tour with social media. Farewell tours were set up where you can go to each city and they give a quick little honor for you, and everyone shows their appreciation. True basketball fans will do that and give them gifts and stuff. I think we saw that with Dirk. And now it's like, okay, I can just announce my retirement, and then everyone started to chime in, from LeBron to everybody that respects them. Organizations, you saw multiple, like Orlando, and all of them were so that's your quick farewell tour. And that, I guess, was never really Russell's style to have something like that. But I kind of wonder, and I still wonder if there'll be a situation where, okay, we'll sign him to a 1-day deal so he can officially retire as a member of the Thunder. I don't know if that's still a thing that they do. But now the question is, it's not a question, it's when they're going to retire his number. And if there's going to be a statue at the new arena. That, I think we're years away from a statue, but How soon are we going to see the number 0 go up into the rafters next to Collison's? But I think he deserves it. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. And I hope it's very, very soon. And I hope it's something. I really do hope it's something this season where he could be there and the fans can really show their appreciation.
Yeah, I mean, something that gets lost in the remembrance of that 2016 and before. And you mentioned how everyone, especially nationally, which then bled in over to locally, Kevin Durant was the poster boy. And he was the one of the two that always outwardly talked about being here his whole career. You never heard any of that from Russell.
Right.
And I think part of that is part of why it stung so much when Durant left, not just to where he went, not just breaking up this team, but he had vowed his loyalty and allegiance to Oklahoma. And if there's one thing we know about your neighbors and all your friends, loyalty matters in this state. It just does. You know, there's
yes, it does.
There's been an ad on our ball games forever from one of the businesses here in town and talking about how a handshake is a binding contract. You know, and those words are Kevin Durant didn't realize when he was just saying stuff to say stuff how personally did the people of Oklahoma take that.
Yeah.
And I think that was the major fear because Russell, of the two, the perception widely believed to be that Russell would be the one that would be out of here. Russell would go back home to L.A. Not Durant. It would be Russell. And the whole time, you're right. Little did we know that the snake in the grass was absolutely Kevin Durant and it was not Russell Westbrook, and he proved it. And that's why I think, yes, he was a phenomenal player. He had his faults. We'll talk about that. We can talk about all that. But his loyalty to the Thunder and to the people of the state of Oklahoma, because it's not just an Oklahoma City team, it's the state.
Right.
I mean, I personally know grandmas, great-grandmas, that build their day around the Thunder, watching the Thunder games.
Yeah.
Being home.
Absolutely.
Leaving choir practice early at church.
My mother was one of them.
Yeah.
My mom was one of them. My wife is now one of them. She loves them. I mean, she has always liked them, and now that like has turned into love. And you're totally right. It is the state's team.
I'm thinking about one person in particular, Joan Butcher, that would leave. I mean, everything was around Thunder playoff games. Like, hey, that's just what we do.
It was crazy. Like, you know, we're in our 40s, and before 2008, we never thought we'd see something like OU football. That's how there was a lot of people who would schedule their time around their vacations, their time off, whatever it may be.
Yeah, the state schools football for sure.
Like, oh, okay, hey, they play at 2:30 on Saturday. I can't. I'm sorry, Johnny, I can't come to your game. I'll come to the next one. That I never thought I'd see that ever. You know, you weren't going to see that with Blazer hockey games or Red Hawks at the time or 89er baseball games. I never thought you see that now with Oklahoma City Thunder. And in a large part of that is because of the success it started, you know, right out of the gate. 2 years in, they started to turn that corner and become good, and that was with Russell Westbrook on that team.
No,
on
it's
those teams. Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely that way. I mean, the difference is the games are at night. But I know I know for sure, talking about scheduling different like golf tournaments in the fall. The first thing you look at on a certain date is, okay, where are OU and OSU?
Right.
Football.
Don't you dare do it on the second weekend of October.
Well, where are you? I mean, is there a date where both are open? Great, put it there. If not, is there a date where both are gone, playing on the road? And Thunder Hoops has absolutely become that, just in a different way for different reasons.
Yeah,
or the same reason, just a different circumstances.
I mean, shoot, now we're starting to plan our Christmas holidays around the Thunder game. I was kind of happy that this year's game is at night. Like, we could wake up open the presents and have maybe take a nap.
Don't have that 11 a.m. or up in MSG.
Yeah.
But he's
the catalyst to all of this.
He's always, to me, always going to be the most beloved guy for a lot of people because of that loyalty he showed when Durant left. And of course, the play on the court. I mean, that year, the first year without Durant, I mean, he was just an absolute demon. Averaged a triple-double for the first time in the league and forever and ever. Won the MVP on a team that, quite frankly, when you looked, especially in that playoff series against James Harden and the Rockets, when you looked at the analytics of him on the floor versus him off the floor, he was the only reason that the series went as long as it did, that the Thunder won a game in that series, is because he was so good when he was out there. And there was not much around him when he wasn't.
When Durant left, even knowing that Westbrook was staying, there was still, and before that season started, there was that feeling of despair. Like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to move forward? And so for him to have that incredible season and win the MVP, it was like, there is life after Durant, and it's feels pretty good,
Yeah, and that life is Russell Westbrook.
And it was storybook how that season went. For him personally, obviously, with that culminated to an MVP title, but it showed that there is life after Durant, and yes, it was with Westbrook, and he set he had that Oklahoma standard that stuck with him. You talk about the loyalty and stuff, and then what it turned into now.
Yeah, it's still there.
I never thought about drawing that line from how him and enticing Paul George this day, which ultimately turned into Shea, which ultimately turned into a national or a world title. Never thought of it like that. That's a good connection.
Yeah, even he was the gift that kept on giving, even when he wasn't here.
Yeah.
On the floor, his athletic gifts were obvious. As athletic a player that we've ever seen, especially at that size. I mean, the rebounding, he's got to be the best rebounding guard of all time. The way he's able to do it.
There's that viral video that just said this was Russell Westbrook in a nutshell, where he rebounded, had 3 offensive rebounds that led to a Carmelo Anthony 3. I think that tied or gave him a lead. And I think they eventually won that game against Golden State.
His biggest strength was just the tenaciousness. I mean, it was always talked about. In the NBA, you see it night in, night out, where guys just don't have it or don't care to have it night in and night out from just an effort standpoint. And that was something that you never, ever, no matter what happened, you never, ever left watching a game or the arena or whatever going, boy, I wish Russell would have tried harder.
You know what I mean? Never said that.
You never said that. But at the same time, that tenaciousness as being his biggest strength, I also think might have been his biggest weakness in a lot of ways. Like the self-belief that he could do anything at any time on the floor also led to, especially in late game situations, times where maybe he did things that weren't for the best. And Jim went off on him yesterday, went in the bed and all that, about how he's not a winning player. I mean, that's so hyperbole in my mind, because winning a championship in any sport outside of golf or tennis isn't a one-person thing. And you look throughout, was Patrick Ewing a winning player? Was Charles Barkley a winning player? Of course. But they never won a title. Is Carmelo Anthony a winning player? Well, he was when he played for the U.S. Olympic team, and so all that's, that we were so, and I think this goes back to one guy that sort of, with his career, created this rings is all that really mattered, and that's Jordan.
Right. Yeah.
And that he set the standard, no doubt, with 6 finals and 6 rings. And I think that skews the conversation around a lot of different guys. And especially as they're in the newness of the retirement, I think you get a little bit more varying opinions because people watched it night in, night out, especially around here. But I think Russell Westbrook is going to be a guy that as time passes will be way more appreciated in 15 years than maybe he is right now. And the stuff with Tram and all just his nature, just his personality is part of that. As time goes by, those traits fade and you start looking more at what the player was as opposed to who maybe the player was. I mean, if they still do the one-day deals, that's a no-brainer to sign him for a day.
Yeah.
And let him have his day in Oklahoma City. Win the jersey. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It can't happen fast enough.
I agree. Home opener.
Yeah, the 22nd of October
raise the banner like it's a championship
with Jokic
night.
in town.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how influential Russell Westbrook was to this organization. From the very word go. All the way through, like you said, even now, at least in the city of Oklahoma City, still involved. And I think a lot of talk about what he'll do. The morning guys were talking about how funny it'd be if he actually did, like, media. I mean, you want to talk about something I don't see ever.
No, I
would be that.
I think his future involves his investments, what he has invested in with this soccer club. I'm not sure what his full investment. He's always been in the fashion.
Yeah, so I heard Kerry say this earlier. He kind of brought fashion to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it's true. That's
but
true.
Is the philanthropy part of what he's going to be involved in is what I think is pretty cool, pretty exciting to see because there's just no telling. But it's obvious that the philanthropic part of life means something to him, and being able to give back. A lot of the courts around the state, he was part of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe not out here, but has his fingerprints in a lot of the things that the Thunder do outside of just playing basketball. And I think that, yeah, there's warts, definite warts that you can pick apart all you want to of him as a player on the floor and as a personality off of it. But those should not, by any stretch of the imagination, overshine what he was on the floor and what he is off the floor. It's just like a footnote to the Russell Westbrook story, to me, because he was way better than he was bad with everything, and that's why he's always going to be Mr. Thunder.
Yeah, I really, like you said, I hope they raise that banner way sooner than later.
And I could actually see, you talked about way down the line, I could actually see the statue being unveiled the same night Continental Coliseum opens. I could.
Yeah.
I could absolutely see that being a thing.
I know we've talked about before, what's your favorite, Westbrook moment on the court?
Oh, my gosh.
Is there any one you can narrow it down to?
I mean, that season, the first season without Durant, I think they were in Denver. I know they were in Denver, and he makes the 40-footer and also breaks the Oscar Robertson record in the same night. That was the thing. That year was it was an anomaly as far as the way that he performed in those clutch moments. He was awesome in those moments where that was kind of a lacking part in a lot of the ways of his game throughout his career. It also might have been the first time where he knew it was all him. There wasn't any deference to maybe a young Harden or even for sure Durant. And I think that the thing about him is he's misunderstood in a lot of ways to me because and a lot of it's his fault. Don't get me wrong. A lot of it's his fault for the way he handled things and his personality. Some of it's deserved. the criticism that he gets. But at the same time, you got to see for that one season when it was just him, the willingness and the responsibility on the floor that he took upon his shoulders and delivered night after night after night to it for a team that wasn't all that great outside of him.
Right.
So
yeah, for me it was 2012 playoffs against the Lakers.
When he threw the crazy running shot up.
Got the steal. They tried to foul him, and he just threw it up from about the elbow of the free throw line, banked it in, and the whole crowd was just juiced and electric, and he's stomping. And, like, that sums up my Russell Westbrook experience. That one play when I think of Russell Westbrook. I remember where I was. I remember screaming, jumping out of my seat when that happened, and I think there was a bunch of us in the Sports Palace at Jim's watching that game on that night, and just buzzing. That's kind of when I was like, this team's going to go far. And they got to the finals that year, but they had to go through the Lakers to do it, and they had plays like that because it was still a tight game close to the end of the third quarter when that happened. And that moment turned the game because of his hustle. And like you said, he never took a night off.
Yeah, there was a Warriors game early on when the Warriors were getting going where you knocked down the three to win it in the corner. Yeah.
Hugged by fans.
Right there. Right there.
That was cool. Yeah.
There's that. I mean, and then there's just the things, like that Christmas Day game. Can't remember what year. It might have been 2012 in Madison Square Garden where the Thunder just bulldozed the Knicks, and he's got a triple-double with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. When everybody else is out there kind of lollygagging around, he was like the pest. We all played against the pest in pickup basketball. Like, bro, quit trying so hard.
Yeah, he was Rudy on the basketball court.
Just except for he wasn't a walk-on. He was the All-American.
Yeah, exactly. But
we've always played against anybody that's played pickup basketball. Is like, bro, simmer down. This is more of an around the world game, not like an actual basketball game. Why don't you turn it down a notch, All-Star? I mean, in a practice, everybody's played with guys like that,
like Jim Carrey and Cable Guy.
Simmer down. No, but his legacy will live on forever, as it should, right here in Oklahoma City, and not surprising to me whatsoever, with what we know about his personality, that he didn't make it a big show. That he didn't LeBron it this season and have everybody giving those gifts. Mm-hmm. He just stepped away quietly, and now who knows how much or when we'll even see him in the public eye outside of here at different things that he's involved in Oklahoma City.
Yep. Hell of a career.
Yeah, easily first ballot Hall of Famer.
Easily.
Top 50 to 75 player of all time.
I've told Allie this a lot. I have a rule, don't buy jerseys of players that are playing now. I made that mistake buying a Durant jersey. Buy players of Hall of Famers like Troy Aikman or Russell Westbrook. Might be that time I buy one.
We'll be back.
If you're hungry in Elk City, there's one place people keep coming back to. Boomtown Grill. Plenty of TVs, a great bar, and a dining room where the food is the real star. Boomtown's kitchen turns out hand-cut choice Angus steaks, burgers ground in-house every single day, and Boomtown's handcrafted pizza that just might be your new favorite in town. Tuesday night, enjoy chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes, peppered gravy, and a roll for just $4.99. Thursday wings are only 50 cents. Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main in Elk City. Come hungry.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
The Skinny on Sports.
There's no crying in baseball!
Welcome back. Wrapping up the Skinny on Sports right here on a Boomtown Grill Thursday, 98.1 FM, The Sports Animal. USAM update from Marion Country Club in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ryder Cowan now 3 up through 5 in his round of 32 match against Justin Matthews. He parred number 5. Matthews has made a bogey. Ryder 2 under through 5, and that's good enough so far for a 3-up lead through the first 5 holes in the round of 32. So hopefully he can continue that strong play, get himself a tee time for the afternoon in the round of 16 there at the U.S. Amateur in Marion. So we'll continue, obviously, to follow that story throughout as long as Ryder's in the running. We'll give you updates about that right here in the mornings. Skinny on Sports Report at night as well. Interesting story out of LSU this morning, Jared, with Jayden Daniels upset, severing all ties with the Tigers because of somebody wearing number 5 on Lane Kiffin's squad. When you first see this and kind of read up about it a little bit, what comes to your mind?
Petty. That's just, it's sad and petty. What are we doing? I didn't like it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, everyone is different, but I'd be like, oh, that's cool. That kid's wearing my number. You know, I'd probably reach out to the kid and go, hey, you better live it up, man. I did good in that number. You better do good too. Go Tigers, you know. Spelled wrong.
Better spell it right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you better spell it right.
I just thought it was incredibly petty, even up to the point that you don't sell my number or that number. And petty was the first thought. Then after thinking about it, it's like, it's sad. It's just sad this is the world we live in, where we just so consumed by this, what do I call it, this self-gratitude era that we live in. It's all about me era.
Disease of me.
Disease of me. The participation ribbon generation is now in the NFL, and it's so it's just sad. It's just real sad. And I know the question next is like, what if it was one of our players we root for, a team that we root for? That's where I'd still go. I was like, that's sad. That's sad he's acting like that. Like, I think it's sad. I get the whole dynamics of it, but like Heupel being upset at OU, I'm like, man, just get over it. Let's move on. It's sad you're acting like that, but this is incredibly sad to have a player just totally get your lawyers involved and send a cease and desist, and which, by the way, I mean, is that even legal? I mean, can LSU go, this won't hold up in a court of law?
NIL stuff, I honestly don't know.
I don't know either. It's not like he's wearing a number with his name on it. It's just a number, and it's not retired. And
question on the tech. Well, one, disgusting. I agree with that in a lot of ways, but of course this is happening. It's what we've created.
Yeah,
this is what has been created in college sports.
Yeah,
over the past 5 years, this is what we have created. And the idea of the romanticism of college athletics that we grew up with, or the even older than us, knew and loved about college sports, it's over. It is just the minor leagues, especially in football. It's the NFL's minor leagues. And that leads to individualism as far as how much money you get, how much fame and notoriety you get from your name, image, and likeness, which I get the idea of that, but it's been completely destroyed in the way it's being used. I also think it's jealousy. The first two things I thought when I read it were, one, of course, this is what the system and the template of college football has created. And number two is jealousy because Joe Burrow was mentioned. And the fact that nobody wears Joe Burrow's number at LSU. It's not officially, quote-unquote, retired, but nobody's wearing it. The only thing that Jayden Daniels has in common with Joe Burrow at LSU is, one, they both played 2 years, and two, they both won a Heisman. Joe Burrow's team is widely regarded as the best offense that's ever stepped foot on a college football field, if not the best team that's ever played college football. Undefeated national champions. Jayden Daniels' team went 10-3, and he won the Heisman because there wasn't a Joe Burrow in the running with him. You know what I mean? He was incredible. He put up great stats.
Stats are great, and if it wasn't for him, they would not be 10-3.
That's right.
He was the team. Yeah,
that's why he won the Heisman. But to compare yourself in the lore of LSU football with Joe Burrow in the season that he had to win the Heisman and win the national title, I mean, that's hilarious to me. Just absolutely hilarious. I mean,
Is he send the same letter to Arizona State? No.
Exactly. And the idea of retiring jerseys in college football isn't even a thing.
I don't know.
You can't. There's 105 dudes on the team, and there's 99 numbers. Well, I guess 100 if you count 0.
It's like I said, you can do like a Ring of Honor thing or a Wall of Honor.
Put your name on
your name on there.
You don't have to have
wall,
a number.
Whatever. Yeah, just you could still be honored. And what's sad about this, if Jayden Daniels continues to have success in the NFL, let's say he goes and wins a Super Bowl or is named MVP, I'd be pretty awkward if LSU wants to invite him back to honor him at halftime or something, and they can't do it now. It's because that relationship has been severed. That's what's sad. That's what the sad thing for me is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is now, and I'm surprised it took this long for something like this to happen. And it also, to me, shows almost the mercenary mindset of guys right now. There's no real loyalty to the front of any jersey in college sports right now for a vast majority of the guys that are there. I mean, they can preach that. They can talk about it. And they might even believe it a little bit to a certain extent at certain places, certain players. But overall, it's just a bunch of mercenaries that are looking for the biggest payday and the easiest way to move on into the NFL and using those institutions and those football programs as stepping stones in a way that we've never really – it's always been the case, just not as front and center and in your face as it is right now.
Again, sad. Sad reality. You know, and he needs to be careful with this because it could tarnish his reputation. What if, free agency year or, he can get a big payday or go somewhere else and get a big payday and are they going, wow, we don't want that guy because he's going to throw a fit if Washington gives number 5 to somebody else or I don't know.
I just don't think the NFL's like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's understood in the NFL and in professional sports altogether that loyalty factor isn't necessarily expected. It's loyalty to the paycheck and to teammates. Don't get me wrong. I think each group individually every year, the guys in that locker room have some loyalty to each other, but it's not to the star in Dallas or whatever other logo you want to mention. That's not where the loyalty lies. It lies to the guys in that locker room for that season or that week, even, as opposed to the way we always envisioned it in college football as the loyalty to the school and to the brand. That's gone, and this is just an example of another example of that being front and center and being the case
right
nowadays. I'm hoping they post another score. Filibustering to see if number 6 finishes.
Listen to the Skinny on Sports. Let's have Sports Report.
That's right. 5 o'clock. All 3 stations. All 3 stations will have the Skinny on Sports Report. Hopefully talking about a Ryder Cowan win this morning and on the way to a Ryder Cowan win this afternoon at the USAM. 3 up through 5. So a good start. All right. This is it for me this week.
You're out tomorrow?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Where you at?
Path to Miracles Golf Tournament.
Oh, okay, cool.
Here at Elk City Golf and Country Club.
Awesome.
So I'll be back on Monday. We're going to have a bunch of stuff on Big Elk TV Friday night for Meet the Players, though, in the park.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered to right. Way